Thomas hadn't gotten to putting his bags away yet. There would be time for that, and he wanted the wheels to dry before he lugged it all upstairs. The bell chimed over his door and a rush of morning air flushed in. The disturbance stirred the interior atmosphere, mixed it all up so that it smelled like something caught between hot coffee and rain, still unsure whether or not it would fall. It did not smell like jasmine here. It did not smell like anything out of the ordinary. It smelled like coffee. It smelled like the can of paint that would have to be tossed after Timmy left the lid off it from last night. It smelled like almost rain. Thomas sipped his coffee. "Morning, Tom." Thomas did not glance over right away, and instead he sipped his coffee again. "I didn't know the shop was part of your morning workout. Would have made our place more presentable, Copper didn't answer. Thomas could feel the weight of Booker, shifting nervously from first one foot, then to the other. Thomas's brow furrowed. Booker didn't go on morning runs. He turned to the two dogs still framed in the doorway. Neither of them had their uniforms on. Booker was in a jumper and a pair of dirty sweats. Copper in his workout getup, though he did have his gun. Booker was sweating. They both looked like they were forcing cordiality, though only Copper wore it with any kind of conviction. Thomas sipped his coffee again. He stepped toward the doorway. Something was amiss. "The kids aren't up yet, but we're still serviceable, yes. What's it you all need help with?" Booker held his gaze pointedly to the ground. Copper's look had something in it Thomas couldn't place and that he didn't like. He set down his mug of coffee. "You heading somewhere, Tom?" Copper nodded to the bags, still in the corner. Thomas blinked. He wasn't sure whether or not he wanted to correct the misconception, but was spared further consideration as Booker butted in. "We need to bring you in, Tom. It's KK. We know you did it." Copper shot the bigger dog a look dripping with exasperation, but just as quick had wiped it clean. He looked back at Tom across the room. His hands were on his hips, his sidearm obviously on display. "We need you to come into the office, Tom. We don't want there to be trouble." Thomas blinked again. "Well, a minute to, maybe just use the bathroom, Booker opened his mouth, and Copper held up his hand. "A minute." Thomas nodded. Thomas stepped out of the main room and closed the bathroom door behind him. He caught his reflection in the mirror and looked ponderously at himself. He did not know what they had meant by "knew he did it." He knew, in fact, that he did not. But Thomas also knew the only one in the world who knew that too was the only one, and he could never ask to prove it.